So we're back at Victor's house just after the workout, and we're just chilling out, having a nice talk. And Victor is going to tell us a little bit about how did it all begin for you with the bodybuilding.
Yeah, well, it basically started when I was in junior high school. And at that time, it was still just lifting weights. Mm-hmm. And it was through arm wrestling. We used to arm wrestle for candy.
Oh, okay.
Arm wrestle for the best seat in the class. Arm wrestle for the best seat in the lunchroom. So me and all my friends were always arm wrestling. And in order to be stronger in arm wrestling, we would work out our arms only, mm-hmm. and our forearms. And pretty much from there, that led to wrestling. Okay. Watching wrestling on TV. Only because bodybuilding wasn't on TV yet. You didn't know what it was unless you bought a magazine, which, you couldn't afford. So we would watch wrestling and we'll see Hulk Hogan and see how strong they were, how much muscle they had. And it was like, wow. And then also the Incredible Hulk. Okay. That was one of, I think, my first visual mm-hmm. of bodybuilding. And just seeing that and also going to art school, it was like, wow, I know you can draw it. I understand. But this is a real, person. How is this possible? Okay. And then in high school, after playing football, I remember I was too skinny to play. Yeah.
Can't imagine. Do you have any pictures?
I was very skinny, and then the coach. One day I was preparing to run, and I loved to run at the time, and I was ready to run, and I said, "Let's go." The coach said, "No, everybody runs. You, skinny man, you're going to the gym." That's why he sends me to the gym. I'm in the gym, and it's just me alone, and I start bench pressing and chin ups and push ups, simple stuff.
Has he seen you since then?
He saw me once, and he thought I was playing a joke. He didn't think it was really me. Wow. So he's looking at me like,
wow, the bench press really worked.
Okay, sure, yeah, I remember you. He was.
That's funny.
Yeah, so once he sent me to the gym, I said I really need to learn. And my friend Caprice Murray, he also turned pro. He retired. Mm-hmm. He goes, "Hey, I work out at Elmo's gym." Mm-hmm. Elmo was Mr. Santiago. Was Mr. Universe.
Okay.
I think 68, 66, I don't remember. But I went to the gym, Elmo's gym, and it was a real, hole in the wall, as they say, hardcore gym. Maybe 2 bikes, mm-hmm. 1 treadmill, and everything else was weights and rusted weights. And I joined Elmo's by selling a gold bracelet I used to have. Wow. I don't wear gold jewelry anymore, but that was the last piece of gold I had, and I joined the gym, and basically in Elmo's gym, that's where I learned, made mistakes and everything, and that's where it started. And
probably the best business transaction you ever made, eh?
Yeah, best one. And it was more, if I was a happy kid, if I was very happy, if I had no problems, if everything was perfect, I probably would have never gone to the gym. It was something I did to help me, follow life a little bit more strict, Mm-hmm. I know I had to go to work, after work, and go to the gym.
So gym kept you out of trouble?
Yeah, I know I had to go to school, but let me go to the gym first. I was angry, I'll go to the gym, and pastimes was at the gym. It was something I used as pastime, and the energy and focus I put in the gym helped me a lot with everything else I did. Because in the gym, I know I have to finish that workout to look a certain way. So I know I had to go to work, put in those hours, and tell myself, I can take care of myself. I know I have to go to school. I know I have to do my homework, show up prepared, and pass the class.
So it taught you life?
Yeah, so basically I use bodybuilding as something, every workout I do, every diet I did, every competition I finished, made me finish everything else. Because basically before I went to the gym, nothing really mattered. If I didn't finish, it was whatever, you know. If I didn't go to school, it's too bad, you know. I was playing hooky, you know. If I didn't, you know, work, I didn't find job, it was fine. But when I started bodybuilding, I said, no, I'm gonna find a job. I'm gonna get a second job. I'm gonna go to school. And so it was
Step by step, everything came together.
Yeah, everyday life. So like I said, had I been happy, everything was perfect, it probably wouldn't have worked out. I would have done something else.
But you know, they say that everything happens for a reason in life.
Yes.
And everything you do is going to be the next step for your life.
Yes, exactly. And so
do you have to answer the phone?
No.
Good.
I actually, everybody has to know I never answer the phone in my house.
We noticed. It took us a few tries downstairs, but you always call back.
I know you were calling, and I was like, "Wait a minute, why is the phone ringing?" Oh, right.
That's okay.
I'm expecting.
We finally made it, and you finally answered. So we're here. So when did you turn? When did you turn it into a career? At what point in your life did you notice that your body transformation and your life transformation became your career?
Well, when I first started, basically it was just getting to the gym, finishing my workouts, and trying to look a certain way. Like I said, for everyday life. For a career, basically it was in 2000. I had two things I really wanted to do, which was become a firefighter and be a professional bodybuilder. I had just won the Junior USA that year, and I'm getting ready for the fire exam. So I won the show. I'm getting ready for the fire exam now. And in New York City, there were only 900 openings. Well, close to 1 million people applied. And the odds are very slim, you know. So it didn't happen. And next thing you know, my friend tells me the Nationals are coming to New York. And at the time, it was about maybe 6 months away. And I was like, okay, the Nationals. And what happens? He goes, well, if you win the Nationals, you go pro. Yeah. It's like, wow. I mean, I know I always thought about it. I know I always, you know, through reading the magazine and seeing the guys professionals and this is their job. I said, you know what? Okay. You know, my trainer, Victor Munoz, he goes, you could do it. And I was like, okay, you know what? This is what I have now. This is what I can do now. So we are going to do it. And
of course you won.
Yeah, and I got ready for it.
Which brings me to a question. So I guess you won it on the first try.
I won it in the first try, yeah. But it was a first try that I didn't have the experience of competing national level. I was reading the magazine and seeing the guys who did compete. They were the favorites. And so I had to study them. I had to study the strong points, the weak points. And I had to make their weak points my strong points, which is something I first learned about bodybuilding and strategy.
Right.
You know, and how to go in there and how to beat your opponent.
So back then, they didn't have super heavyweight, if I'm recalling, right? You were the heavyweight?
Did they have super? I think they did. Did they? What was the heavyweight? Did I remember super?
Who was your biggest competition?
No, there was a super. There was a super. I remember it was Washington.
Okay.
Yes. It was Washington. My biggest competition was Troy Alves. You know, he's a good friend of mine now.
Still a good pro.
Yeah, still a good pro. You know, good luck in the Ironman next week. You know, this week actually. And I remember studying him and bringing up the strong points and facing him. And at that time, it was like, I'm doing it, and let's see what happens. And after prejudging, it all changed. because I got the reaction from the crowd and the people and everybody.
Right. Well, not many people did that. There's not many guys who won the nationals on the first try. That's for sure.
Yeah, it was the first try. I remember I had to stop talking to a lot of my friends. I had to move to a studio in Midtown Manhattan, and I didn't see any of my friends maybe a week before the show.
Dedication.
Dedication.
That brings us to the next question. Who is your biggest competition for the Arnolds?
Right now, since I'm coming back, everybody. I'm not giving anybody a chance. I have everybody I have to eliminate. Like I said, I'm strategizing who I'm going to beat, how. So right now, everybody's my competition because basically I'm the one who's coming back. They already been there the last year. This is my first contest back.
So it's almost like you're a challenger again, even though you won it.
Yes, I'm going in as a challenger, and I don't mind being a challenger. It's always I like
Makes you want to work harder.
Yeah, it makes you want to work harder. Challenges and obstacles nobody wants, but it kind of makes you push over the edge, and that's what I'm doing.
Leg injury, you're back to health all the way?
Yeah, right now, my knee. I completed a year yesterday since my injury, since my surgery was yesterday, a year. And I'm happy because at this point, it's different now. It's been a year. A year ago, right here, I was sitting down in this sofa with my legs up.
In a cast.
In a lot of pain. A lot of pain. I was shredded too because I was 6 weeks out.
So looking good.
Yeah, I was looking good, but in a lot of pain. My knee was size of my quads. And a year now later, I feel good, and I feel, thank God I had the strength. My daughter Victoria got me through it. Just staying with her and just. A lot of my friends came by, and MD supported me, and MHP, and a lot of my fans. So it was a dark moment because you don't think you're gonna get through it, but
they say what doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
Yeah, exactly. There was times that I was like, man, I know I'm gonna have a hard time, and probably. I think 3 weeks later, I was back in the gym just to feel that I'm back in one way or another. Yeah.
That's it. Once a bodybuilder, always a bodybuilder, and it's like like myself, I cannot imagine not training ever, right?
Yeah.
I can imagine how bad it had to be when 3 weeks. You said you were 6 weeks away from one of the biggest competitions in the world, and then this happens, right?
Yeah, it was a tragedy. I mean, when my injury happened and I touched my knee, first thought was, I'm not going to do the Arnold, because I knew the extent of the injury. I've been injured before, hand, elbow, shoulders, pec, and I always made it to the show. Mm-hmm. It's like, man, this is the first time that I'm not going to make it to the show. And I just knew because it was... You felt that throughout your whole body, just that one injury. And I don't want to wish that on anybody, especially a competitor, And that's the first thing I told the doctor. Yeah. First thing I told the doctor was, "Doctor, please."
Put it together. Let me compete.
Do a good job. And before surgery, gave me anesthesia. I'm falling asleep, and I get up again, and I tell him, "Doctor, don't touch the muscle."
It's all shredded for the competition.
Yeah,
don't screw it up.
So and that's what I'm happy about. That he didn't touch the muscle, and he kept it all in the knee, and